Psalm 88 is a song, but it's not a song like anything you and I would likely to have sung in church in the past or in any time soon. It is a song with no happy ending. It is a song with no hope. It is a song that is a high octane protest. There's a bit in the middle that you hear in a moment where the singer just reels off a list like of questions that are going, God, do you still do this kind of stuff? It's a song that comes from the darkest of places. In fact, so dark is the place of Psalm 88 that it's being described as the darkest corner of the Psalter, but also in the common lectionary, which is kind of the order of Psalms that we have so we can read them all the time. Psalm 88 is kind of skipped because we don't really know what to do with it. Walter Brueggemann says, Psalm 88 is an embarrassment to conventional faith. So here it is. O Lord God of my salvation, I cry out day and night before you. Let my prayer come before you. Incline your ear to my cry. For my soul is full of troubles and my life draws near to Sheol. I am counted among those who go down to the pit. I am a man who has no strength. Like one set loose among the dead, like the slain that lie in the grave, like those whom you remember no more, for they are cut off from your hand. You have put me in the depths of the pit, in the regions dark and deep. Your wrath lies heavy upon me, and you overwhelm me with all your waves. You have caused my companions to shun me. You have made me a horror to them. I am shut in so that I cannot escape. My eyes grow dim through sorrow. Every day I call upon you, O Lord. I spread out my hands to you. Do you work wonders for the dead? Do the departed rise up to praise you? Is your steadfast love declared in the grave, or your faithfulness in Abaddon? Are your wonders known in the darkness, or your righteousness in the land of forgetfulness? But I, O Lord, cry to you in the morning. My prayer comes before you. O Lord, why do you cast my soul away? Why do you hide your face from me? Afflicted and close to death from my youth up, I suffer your terrors. I am helpless. Your wrath has swept over me. Your dreadful assaults destroy me. They surround me like a flood all day long. They close in on me together. You've caused my beloved and my friend to shun me. My companions have become darkness. Whenever I read Psalm 88, it always reminds me of music I used to listen to in the car. My dad was a big fan of Simon and Garfunkel. And there's that wonderful line in one of their songs which says, hello darkness, my old friend, I've come to talk with you again. This is the song, this is the psalm that confronts darkness, doesn't hide from it, doesn't talk tritely about it, keeps it real. And sometimes real, raw emotions are frightening, and so we avoid them, so we don't include Psalm 88 in the rhythm of psalms that we're going to pray, because maybe it's just too much. And yet I think it's great it's here. I was reading about a guy called Joseph Bailey recently. He and his wife were faithful Christians, as far as I know, still are a faithful Christian couple who wrote for Christian magazines, and then they went through the worst 7 years you can possibly imagine, where they faced the death of 3 of their children. In the midst of it, Joseph wrote a poem in which he described God as the spoiler of my treasure. This is the psalm that kind of echoes that. God, look what you're doing to me. You're the spoiler of my treasure. In that wonderful book, Sophie's Choice, Steiger, one of the main characters, is sat on the train pondering the realities and the horrors and the darkness of the Holocaust, particularly in Auschwitz, and he doesn't know what to do with it. And he happens to be sat next to a woman who's reading the Bible, and she says to him, what could I read to you? Because he's clearly looking glum. Can I read you anything that would cheer you up? And he says, no. Read to me Psalm 88. Why? Well, this is one of the reasons why I think Psalm 88 is helpful for our prayer lives, because Psalm 88 gives voice to our darkest cries, helps us articulate what we're trying to say, and reminds us that God knows, God hears, God understands our darkness. How do we know that? Because Psalm 88 made it into his book. It's here. There's that wonderful spiritual that says, that sings, nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Nobody knows but Jesus. Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Nobody knows but Jesus. Psalm 88 is the reminder of that's dead right. How do we know he knows? How do we know he cares about our darknesses and our hopelessnesses and the hideousnesses of this world? Because Psalm 88 made it into his book. And that must help us with our prayer lives. But the other thing I want to say this just to end, and it's an obvious thing to say, but important. I recently had a conversation with somebody who was facing real darkness, and they said to me, James, I don't know if I can follow God anymore. It's just too painful. And what Psalm 88 reminds us is it's never too painful, it's never too deep, it's never too awful to not talk to God about it. The response to darkness is to go and cry to him. So I would encourage you, read Psalm 88 and use it to give voice to your cries. Use it as a reminder to never stop talking to him, and use it as an invitation to intercede for those who are facing darkness at the moment. Have a read of Psalm 88. God bless.